be sure to cook. Welcome back to another episode of Be Sure to Cook. Today I am making a stuffing using homemade cornbread sage stuffing and good yeast rolls with bread. You're gonna love this recipe, so stay tuned and let's do this. Okay, today I'm gonna be using some self-rising cornmeal, and you can use yellow, you can use white, you can use whatever kind you want, but I'm using self-rising, and I'm going to be using 2 cups. That's 1 cup, but 2 cups of self-rising cornmeal. Okay, then I'm adding this is 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to mix it, a little cornmeal, a little bread, because flour is mostly like bread and cornmeal is mostly like corn. I want to mix that. Don't give it all corn, but put a little bread in there. And it's self-rising anyway for the cornmeal, so it won't hurt this flour at all, because we're just going to be using this for a base. For the cornbread. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there, and I'm using sea salt, but you can use any salt you want. Okay, 2 whole tablespoons of ground sage, and I hope this is enough. If it's not enough, I always like mine to look green. If it's not enough, just add a little bit more to it, because it's supposed to be sage cornbread. That's going to be your cornbread that you make for your stuffing. And I always just take it and mix it, blend this in really good. All right, now once I put that in there dry, you want to make sure you constantly keep mixing this up so your sage can get in there all over and you don't have chunks of sage in different areas. Okay, now that's mixed up, and you can tell the way the color changed. It's like a lime green. Okay, now we're going to add in, got to get some oil in here. So we're going to add 1/3 cup of oil. We got to get some type of fat in here. If you like it a little bit more moisture, just add a little bit more. If you want, maybe 2 tablespoons more, just add a little bit if you want. But usually I add 1/3. Sometimes I add a little extra because it can come out a little dry. You want it moist like a cake, but it's going to come out a little different than what you think it is. It's cornbread stuffing is what I'm making out of this, so it's not your everyday cornbread. I have 3, supposed to be large eggs, but these are small eggs. They're not large anymore. I've got 3 eggs that I'm going to add in. And then I'm going to add in a cup of milk. All right. Cup of milk. Any type of milk you want. If you want whole milk, I drink 2%. I used to drink whole a lot, but when my kids were little, they had to drink 2%, and I was like, ugh. I got 2%, started drinking 2%. Now whole milk, is not good for me, because I found out me and whole milk don't get along. When I was younger, we did. You just keep stirring this in until you get it smooth, just like you would make a batter. Okay, I'm hand mixing this, so I'm probably getting a little bit everywhere. See, and now it's green. If the batter is too thick, just add a little tad more milk in it until you get it, just right with the cornbread, because this can be really thick. And don't forget, cornmeal sucks up a lot of liquid, so you want to get it really smooth where you can whip it good. See, okay, I've mixed this up very well, and as you can see, this is green, like green eggs and ham, and everything's green. So this is just my own little thing that I do, but I just wanted to show you all how easy. I got an 8-inch pan that I already sprayed and greased. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour this into my 8-inch pan. Got a little bit more than I expected. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I might. No, I didn't. Perfect. It's gonna rise, so I might have did put a little bit more. But usually it comes out right. Maybe it's because it comes out right in my 8-inch pan. So it's gonna rise up. I'm greedy, I gotta get everything. It's probably why, because I like to scrape everything. I don't like to leave nothing in my bowl. Okay, so this goes in a 350-degree oven until it's nice and fluffy and looks like cornbread. Make sure you stick a toothpick in it, make sure it comes out clean. Then what you want to do is you want to let this cool. You want to wrap it up, you want to put it to the side when you make your cornbread. When you make your stuffing. So this is very easy, very quick, and all you do is add celery, onions, and your chicken stock or turkey stock. You have cornbread. Mix this up, put it in another pan, and bake it for at least a half an hour to an hour, and there's your cornbread stuffing. So there you go. Okay, just took this out the oven. It is completely done and hot. Whoop, yeah, really, it's cooling down though. It's cooling down, but it's hot. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this, I need turkey drippings. So I'm gonna do my turkey the next day, this is gonna be covered up, and I'm gonna sit it to the side and let it cool down tomorrow. And then we're gonna take my turkey drippings. That's what I need. So I'm gonna cook my turkey, and then we're gonna finish up this stuffing and show you how to make a wonderful homemade stuffing. So stay tuned. All right, guys, here we are, and our cornbread sage has cooled down. I wrapped it up, and there it is. It's cooled down, and it is still moist. And I had let this sit for 24 hours, one whole day. And we're going to be finish making the cornbread stuffing. So now we're going to be chopping up onions and celery. Okay, I've got an onion here that I am going to slice and chop. Okay. Okay, I'm dicing up some onions here. And I'm going to dice up some celery. And what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to show you, you can use your onions, your celery, any size you want. I like a little bigger chunks in my cornbread, because when it cooks, and when I'm ready to cook this down and show you all how I do this, it's going to get real soft and real good. It's going to be great going into this stuffing. So you do need onion and celery chopped and diced up. So I'm going to do this is a whole nother onion. This was a half onion that I had from last night that I was fixing stuff. Ooh, I cut that real fat. So let me finish dicing up this and I'll show you. All right, guys. Now I took my celery sticks and I chopped them down like, and I'm just going to dice these up. You want these in, a good little chunky, way. But you can run your knife over them after you cut them down. If they're too chunky for you, just run your knife right over them again. Okay, let me cut this up and show y'all how it's going to be done. Okay, guys, now I put them all together. After I cut those down and I'm rough chopping it. This is what I call a rough chop. But look, guys, you don't have to actually do this. What you can actually do is do a food processor if you don't like doing this. I enjoy doing this. It lets out frustration. Look, oh yeah, see what you did last week, made me mad. You can do anything you want. But I just enjoy doing it. I feel like I handmade everything, which I do anyway. But I do have all those gadgets. My husband buys me all that stuff. And I like it. And I use it sometimes when I'm just lazy or I don't feel like it. And sometimes I need it because I can't get it like I want it if I'm looking for that particular thing. But what I'm just doing is just rough chopping this. I don't want these too thin and I don't want them too fat. I do like to have some taste of some celery and onion inside my dressing, you know, a nice chunk of onion or celery. But if you don't like it, then you can make it thin if you want. You can make it thick. You can make it just how you want, your size. So let me finish this up and then we're going to rinse these off. Oh, in the meantime, while I'm doing this, I've got these beautiful celery leaves. You remember I'm always talking about using celery leaves? Celery leaves are just as good as using the celery. Matter of fact, they hold more of the flavor. Just rinse these babies off. As you see, they're in my strainer where I rinsed them off. And I think I rinsed them until they're like limp and dead. I'm going to chop that up and put that also with my celery and my onions. So what I do is I take a knife and I just run it right on over it. This celery leaf is great. Okay guys, I have melted about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. And I've melted the butter, and I'm using margarine, but you can use regular butter, but I use margarine because it's got a little water, and I just cook that out, and I know I'm not getting a lot of fat because I'm going to be using some drippings today that contains fat in that also. So what I'm doing is I have got that nice and hot, and I'm taking all my vegetables, that's butter on there, all these vegetables, and I'm dumping the celery and onion. Oh, did I crack that? No. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm beating so hard. I'm cracking stuff. Okay. So I'm putting this in here, and I'm going to sweat these. Turn that up to a medium high. That's my butter in there. Now I'm going to add some Mrs. Dash in here. And add is, you know, what you think is pretty good. Mrs. Dash blend. Don't forget, guys, the blend is better. It's not all chunky. Or any kind of Mrs. Dash you like. If you don't like the blend, you can use whatever. And I'm going to add about a half tablespoon, again, of sage. You know, ground sage. Because I already got sage cornbread. But once you put it together, because I'm going to be using other stuff, so I'm going to be using, I like sage, and believe me, I like sage. I don't like that much. If you're not a really big sage fan, then you don't have to use this. So I'm using some black cracked pepper, and to your taste. And then I'm just going to mix this up with the butter and the vegetables. And I'm just going to let these sweat to cook to get soft. All right. I had made some homemade rolls and I had frozen. These are those thick and dense rolls. Now you can see the steam coming out because they were frozen. And I just put them in the microwave and I just like warmed them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop up these rolls. These are homemade rolls that I have made. So they were finger rolls. And I'm just going to chop these up in little square blocks with my bread. Okay, I'm just chopping these up. And you can also go on my videos and look up how I did these rolls. And you can use these rolls for, you know, other things. You can eat them. They're really dense. So these would be great with my stuffing. But I made these, and this is also, you can look it up on my video and see how I did the rolls. So I'm just using these. And you can freeze these. And you can use these. And you can use these also, guys, let me show you. Great. You can take your own homemade rolls that we made. We made this together too, guys. And you can cut them up into little squares like this. So what you do is you take them and you're gonna put these into the oven. And you're gonna spread them out on the sheet. This is twice baked. And you're gonna put them on a 355-degree oven. You're gonna take these and you're gonna toast them. And you want them kind of crunchy and hard. And keep tossing them as you're doing them. Take you some butter, melt you some butter. Put you some garlic powder in there, some parsley, or you can use regular garlic also. You know, little chunky garlic, you know, chop up you some garlic or use the one in a jar. Make sure you have no juice in it. You want to melt it, you want to put both of those in there. Add you some parsley, mix it up, melt it in a microwave. Once it's nice and loose and melted, you want to mix it up really good. And then you want to take these out of the oven when they're nice and toasted and brown like toast. You want to pour this over, and guess what you got? You got homemade croutons. Delicious. And you made everything, rows and all. So let's chop this up and we'll be back. Alrighty. So these have been sweating just the way I want them. They're a little soft, but not all soft. So now I've got to put some salt in here and let it just boil and get that flavor of the stock. Okay guys, this is turkey, and I got celery, big hunks of celery, but we're not looking for the celery or those onions in there. We're looking for straight up stock. And I'm going to be pulling the turkey stock right in here. A couple ladles of turkey stock. All right, look at that. That's pure turkey stock. And you want all that turkey stock, because this is what's going to go in your stuffing. So, here we go. Got a little turkey stock in there. And let's turn that on medium. And just let that boil down. I'm going to add some more in a bit. Let's get back to our rolls. Okay, then I'm putting these rolls into a big bowl. And now, I'm going to be adding our cornbread. All right, here's my cornbread. And I'm going to take it. And I'm probably going to use half. I always say that every year, and then I end up using more. Let's use a bigger half. I didn't cut that good. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice this like bread. And this is kind of a dense. And look at it. This is what the sage cornbread looks like. Look at that. It smells good too. Actually, it is so good. I'm just going to take these and I'm just going to cut them into square blocks. And putting these also in here with my rolls that I cooked. And I'm taking my rolls and I am going to take my hand and I'm just smashing these rolls. Come over here and look over here. I'm just like smashing these rolls. These are homemade rolls, guys. Look at that. It kind of gets really warm when you're cooking. So I know it's cold outside, but I turn on a little air here because it is cold. I mean, it's cold outside, but it's hot in here. Okay, look at that. And I'm going to do the same. It's going to do the crumble of the cornbread blocks. And I'm just going to cut all these up like this. And put them over here. They don't have to be cut in no kind of way. I'm just doing this because I want to get better control. You want to mix it up. See what I mean? You got cornbread, because this is pure cornbread, guys. You good? Okay. So I lied. Look, I used the whole thing. Because you know, when you use that whole thing and you use your rolls with it, and I'm crumbling and I'm making it, mixing everything all up together at the same time. It all just comes out great. You got to mix it up too. What I did is I pulled lots more of all that stock in there, and I boiled this until my onions, see all that onions and stuff are all combined and the liquid's hot. So let's go back to our stuffing. Okay, so I have mixed all this up with my bread. Your rolls are, you know, you can do your own rolls. Actually, let me tell you what you can do. You can make your rolls. After you make your rolls, what you can do is you can take the sage and you can put it with the butter, and you can melt the butter, put in the same stuff in the butter, a little garlic if you want, you know, garlic powder, just like I told you. Put them with your butter and then take the rolls and soak those with your rolls. Put them in the oven, get them hard and dry. You got the same ingredients. I got all kind of tricks, guys. So stay tuned. Let's mix this up and I'll show you what it looks like. So I think I mixed this up very well. This is hot, guys. Just came off the stove and you want it hot. So I'm just gonna start pouring this into this pan. All of this juice. Ooh, all of everything in there. Then I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to start mixing it. Right now it looks like it is, say, ooh. Yeah, but you want to mix all of this up together, hot. And you want to mix it up and get all your dry ingredients with all your wet ingredients. And you got to really mix it up. I'm going to add a little salt, just a little salt to mine. If you run out of your broth, you can also get some chicken stock like I got, and I get low sodium. Shake it up really good chicken stock. If you want, you can add a little bit more to keep it moist. Turkey stock is always better, which I ran out. I used all of that turkey stock. And this really takes a lot of, I'm telling you guys, this takes a lot of juice. So make sure when you cook your turkey. My turkey was so big this year that what happened is I couldn't put a lot of water in it when I did my turkey. So I always buy extra chicken stock just in case I run out, if I need it for some of the gravy and whatever. Okay, so oops. Everywhere. Make sure you mix this up really good. You want it loose, you want it good, you want to get that salt. Okay. Now I'm gonna take my stuffing and put it into my pan. And this is good because I like it when I get some. I take it, I put that stuffing onto the side. And when I run out, you can freeze it. And you can always come back, put it in a container, freeze it, you can come back. Say, in the summertime, say you want some stuffing, you have a chicken going, and a roasted chicken, and you need some good stuffing, you can always come back and get this same good stuffing, and you can always have it. So this, see, it's a loose, see how it is? This is gonna go in a 355-degree oven for about an hour, because it's gonna take that long for it to cook. All right, see you in an hour. All right, guys, here it is, my stuffing. And I love this stuffing. This stuffing is so good. And it's great for holidays, side dish, whatever. Let's plate it up with my little bowl. All right, so we're gonna get in here and get a little bit of this stuffing. Look at that. There you go, hot, look at that. Delicious and wonderful. I love this stuff. And you got your homemade rolls in there. Look at that. Put you a little gravy on there, which I got some gravy for that. And there it is. Homemade cornbread bread stuffing. You're gonna love it. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. In the meantime, guess what? We did this, you and me. We made this together, and we're gonna make other dishes too. Come back and join us. I love you all, guys. You have a happy day and a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.